Hey, fifth grade. Well, guess what we're doing? We're going to be drawing a perspective and we're going to be making a pumpkin patch for the season. So, are you ready? Let's get started. All right, so first things first, you need a piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to start by making the horizon line. So, the horizon line is the line that goes horizontal, and it's where the sun rises and the sun sets, right? So, we just want to draw very lightly because we may do some erasing in a little while. You just want to draw right about in the middle of your paper, right about there, okay? Now let's say we're going to have the sun go off center just slightly, right about here. So you want to do a nice rainbow line going up and over, drawing lightly once again, okay? And then from this point, right about the middle of your sun, I want you to draw a line that goes down like this, and it's not going to be perfectly straight. It's going to have a little wave to it. Then you're going to draw another line that has a little bit of a wave to it. And you're going to continuously fan out from that same point, because this is one point perspective. So we're starting from the same point and going out. You're going to keep branching out. Keep branching out. And one last time, we're going to run across the horizon line and boom. And there we have it. So that is where our pumpkins are going to reside. So we need to add our pumpkins in. That's why I wanted you to draw light as well. We need to add our fence. Now the fence can get a little complicated. You may want to use a ruler for this. I am not going to though. So the fence goes small because from a distance, things that are farther away are going to look smaller than things that are closer to us. Things that are closer to us look bigger, like my hand looks huge right now, but when it's further away, it's smaller. So it's going to be the same thing when we draw this fence. So from the back, it's going to be small. And I'm going to go up and down and over and across. Up, over, down. So it's going to be 20 little steps. Across, up, over, down. All the way across, up, over, looking kind of janky, so I don't like that. We're going to do that over. Don't do that. Okay. So I'm just going to draw actually a straight line. This is going to help me. I'm going to make a guide because that was getting too hard for me freehanded, which means it's going to be definitely too hard for you guys. So I'm just going to draw a straight line that goes out and another straight line right beside it that goes out. You can use a ruler for this. Okay. Now I'm going to use straight lines to go like this, up and over. And we're just going to follow along that line so it makes it easier than what I was just trying to do before. So don't do that. Do over. And no, I could edit that and pretend I'm perfect, but I'm not perfect, and I kind of like showing that I'm not perfect because I feel like sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves to be perfect. So that is why I'm not going to delete that oops. We're going to just let it live there in Oops-a-la land. Alright, so my fence is looking okay. It looks like it might be falling over a little bit. That's alright. It's just a fence. It's just going to hang there on the fence. And I'm going to add another little line right there to help me go along. Alright. Boom. There we go. Now I have my fence. Next I want to draw my pumpkin, so I'm going to erase some lines over here where I might have a pumpkin overlapping on the patch. To draw a pumpkin, you want to do it like an ovally shape, going around. And then up on the top, I'm going to have a little stem. And then they're going to have lines going out like this. So there's one pumpkin. And you can do as many pumpkins as you like, but I would like to at least see 4. Alright. There's another pumpkin. Little lines to the stem. You can go bigger ones. And remember, when they're further back, they're going to be smaller than they would be up in the front in the foreground. Okay? So here's a smaller pumpkin. It's off in the distance. You erase those lines from the patch that we drew. And then I'm going to draw another one up here that's bigger. Stem. Okay, and last but not least, I want to add a scarecrow. So I'm actually going to add my scarecrow over here on this side. Alright, so I'm going to erase some of this line because I'm going to put him right here. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to draw his hat. So I'm going to go up and down a little bit and over. So there's the top of his hat. And then I'm going to draw the little buckle part of his hat right here. And then I'm going to do this curvy C shape around to make his hat. So there you have it, there's his hat. And then we're going to go out and make it sharp. So here's his face. Here's an out for his other arm. And he's going to droop off right here. And then I'm going to go zigzaggy like it's a rib shirt. And draw a straight line for the post right here. Now he's got hay arms, so I'm just gonna do a couple of those zigzaggy lines for hay hands. And we're gonna add some patches. I'm gonna draw a square here and some little dashed lines right there for a patch. And for right here on his face, I'm just gonna do some repeated lines. I'm gonna draw another patch right here. Add another patch right here. And then last but not least, I'm going to draw his eyes. I'm just going to do a big circle and color it in. Another big circle and color it in. And then maybe just a smile with some stitching on it. Because he is a scarecrow after all. And then some hay down here at the bottom. There is my scarecrow. And one last thing I want to add is a barn off in the distance here. So the barn is in the back, so it's going to be smaller than what you would expect, right? And the first things first, we're going to draw this top part of the barn. And it's just going to go like this in U shape. It's the towery part. And we're going to draw a line here, and a line there. Now we're going to go across. And now we're going to curve a line right there. Cut across again. And right here, you're going to draw this curved line again, because this is the front of the barn. It's upside down U, like a rainbow line. Okay? Straight lines going across the roof. Draw a couple windows. Up in the front, I'm going to draw a triangle, and I'm going to frame it in. And then I'm going to draw my barn doors. And I'm going to put like a rectangular X there, and X there, and there's my barn door. So there's my barn. So I have my horizon line, I have my perspective, I have my pumpkins, and I'm going to add some curls to my pumpkins because I just like to. Maybe you add some vines going out here with some detail, and all of this is going to be grass. A little hint of grass there, and voila. So now here comes the next part. You're going to grab some pastels, and you're going to grab orange. And you're going to trace these lines. Not going to trace the pumpkin, only the lines. Okay. And then over here, I'm going to take some brown or green. I'm going to do brown. I'm going to add some green indication for some leaves. They're just random. Okay. And now you're going to take a Sharpie. There it is. And we're going to outline our pumpkins. Like so. Just the bottom one. Mr. Scarecrow. Done. Alright. I'm also going to outline my fence. Now, remember, we drew this line all the way going through those fence markings, so you're going to want to avoid that and probably erase it before, so you don't get confused that this part of the line doesn't go through, because these fences connect like this, and this is how it's supposed to look. Alright, and then I think I'm going to add one more orange line right there in that marking. Now if you notice, I didn't do the pumpkins, okay? And I didn't do my sun. I didn't do my barn yet, but I am going to do my barn. But here's my sun. I'm just going to outline it a little bit with yellow. I'm going to take some green and I'm going to go over all of my green here. Ta-da! Alright, and now I'm going to outline my barn. Alright, and now it's starting to look pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to be painting. So we're going to get some watercolors and we're going to start having a little fun bringing our artwork to life. So I have some watercolors right here. You guys are going to get the kind that we have at school. These are the ones I have to work with at home. And first things first, I'm going to start taking this orange and I'm going to water it down quite a bit. And I'm just going to wash over all this. And you can go right over your pumpkins. And just wash right over. The rest of it's a little more washed out, and this brush is really skinny, which I really gotta wash. Alright, I'm back. That was quick, wasn't it? So now I got a bigger brush and I'm gonna wash this right over. There we go. Now I'm moving quicker. Alright, just wash right over that. Don't go over your Scarecrow now though. Remember, you don't want him to be orange. Okay? We're gonna fill this all up. Now we want it to look like the evening sky, so in order to do that, we're also going to focus on how the sky is going to look. I'm washing over all this, filling all this up with orange, and then when it dries, I'm going to go back over my pumpkins to make them pop out more. Sorry, Scarecrow, I didn't get you wet. Page making a little mess, no big deal, wipe it clean. That's what it's all about in art, right? Okay, so there's that. And then over here, I think I'm gonna make this a very light green, almost with a brown wash on top of it too. So here's the light green. I don't want to get my fence because my fence is white. Okay, but here, I just added some greenery over here. But you want to go in between, right? Ta-da! Now I'm going to add a little bit of brown. I'm going to wash that off, go for the brown. And then I'm going to rub it right over there. So now it's a little muddy. Because, you know, in fall, it starts to get a little muddy out there, doesn't it? Add some brown up here. There we go. Alright, it's looking good if you ask me. Alright, now for my sun, I'm going to make it yellow. Fill that up. And then watch this. I'm gonna run right across that horizon line. Stop at my barn. I don't want my barn to be yellow. Alright. Now we're gonna go into orange. Alright. And we want to blend it a little bit. You can go over your sun a little bit. Add some more orange. And mind you, I'm not working with watercolor paper, so that's why it looks a little wonky. This is just regular paper that I got at the dollar store. But you guys will have the fancy paper. Don't stress. Alright, so there we go. And now the last but not least, I'm going to add it to red. Because we're working with warm colors here. Warm colors are red, orange, and yellow, right? Think fires, think fall leaves. The fall is all about warm colors, isn't it? The only cool color we have is what? What color is cool that's in here that I did? You said green. You're correct, Amungo. Good job. I filled up my sky here. And it's looking quite fabulous. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to take my smaller brush and I'm going to paint my barn red. Leave the roof. There we go. And then I'm actually going to take just a little bit of black, but I'm going to water it down because I don't actually want it black. I want it more like this washed out gray, see? So water it down, it will turn grayish, not so profoundly black. So now I'm going to do the same thing for my fence, because that's how I want my fence to look. A little washed out color there. And it's starting to get a little darker. That's alright. It's going to get lighter as it goes towards that sun though, isn't it? Because it's getting closer to the horizon line. There we go. Okay, beautiful. What's left? The scarecrow. So I'm going to paint him a cool color. He's going to have a blue coat. Oh, there's his blue coat. Alright. And he's going to have a yellow face. Little hands. Yellow stick down there. And then his hat, I think. I'm going to go with a purple. Yeah, he's going to have a purple hat. And there you have it. So now I'm going to go back over my pumpkins. Once it's dry, go a little heavier on the orange so they pop more. There they are. There's those pumpkins. You were hiding, weren't you? I see you. Don't carve me, Mrs. A. I like being alive in the patch. I'm sorry, Mr. Pumpkin. I won't pick you. Alright, there we go. Oh, speaking of patch, I need some patches on my scarecrow. So I'm going to paint these patches red. Maybe one of these I'll do green. And there you have it. So, voila! There's our beautiful artwork. Oh, and mine's so thin because it's on this thin paper. But I hope you guys make some beautiful perspective artwork. Voila! And now I need to clean my countertop. Yikes! Good job, everybody.